How come everyone suddenly knows how to make sourdough bread? I think we can all agree that the world went a little crazy in 2020. Toilet paper hoarding, Zoom meetings, and the rise of sourdough bread. Suddenly, everyone was going crazy over their sourdough starters. But what is a sourdough starter? How does it work, and what happens when it dies? Making a starter looks simple. Just add equal amounts of flour and water to a jar, and wait. But there's magic happening in that mix. A sourdough starter is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, which is also why it's called SCOBY. Yeast are single-celled microorganisms that live in the flour. They feed on the carbohydrates or sugar in the flour. This in turn produces carbon dioxide and ethanol in a process called fermentation. Meanwhile, lactic acid bacteria settle in the flour from the air or your hands. They also eat carbohydrates in the flour, this time producing, you guessed it, lactic acid and enzymes. Lactic acid is the reason behind sourdough's iconic taste. It also acts as a natural preservative for the bread. On the other hand, the enzymes break down the gluten in the flour. This is what gives sourdough bread its soft texture. With the power of hungry yeast and bacteria combined, you can make the perfect sourdough bread. This is also why you have to replace half of the mixture with new flour and water every day. The flour will run out of nutrients eventually, and the yeast and bacteria will have nothing to eat. You will know the starter is dead when you see fuzzy green, pink, or orange mold. When the bacteria dies, there's no longer any lactic acid to keep the mold away. Now you know the magic spell called the sourdough starter. Would you try it?